Hey everyone, it's me Shimon, and welcome to yet another episode of yet another tech podcast. Welcome to episode 2, and this episode is not sponsored by Dollar Shave Club. Use offer code Shimon to get 0% off. So the last episode was about 10 days ago. Like I was planning this to be a weekly segment thing, but then NWC was on its way, so I waited it. So yeah, now we are here. Like 2 days have passed since MWC, still going on, but we have some major announcements and it's going to be great. So starting off with Samsung, they launched their flagship product, the Samsung Galaxy S9 and S9 Plus, which literally resemble S8 from last year, S8 and S8 Plus, but with some neat tricks. Like now finally the fingerprint sensor is below the camera, not at the center of the camera. So that's good. And then the camera now have very good imaging capabilities in the sense that it can now shoot at 960 frames per second at 720p, but there's a caveat there. You can only shoot it for 0.2 seconds, which when converted to real time, it's like it gets stretched out to 6 seconds, which is great. And the other thing is, now it has variable aperture. Now that sounds cool because that's like a thing with DSLRs where you can just go full on manual mode and just make adjustments. So now it can shift from f1.5 to f2.4. Mind you, you can only switch between these two options and nothing in between. So there's that. So there's that for Samsung because there's nothing else really nice about it. Like it's powered by your next generation of flagships, like the processor Snapdragon 845, and then its Exynos counterpart. There's that. And yeah, I was not much impressed by S9, so as to say. Like it's fine that companies don't have to like revamp their whole design and everything. It's okay to have iterative design improvements, I guess. Anyways, moving on to Nokia and HMD. So it's now like a yearly trend that HMD will come up with a old nostalgic phone and relaunch it with new fresh coat of paint and design and everything. Last year it was 3310. This year it is 8110, the original banana phone. It's amazing, like seriously. So people might say that I was a little kid when that came out, and that's true. And I have been a tech nerd kind of guy since the beginning, so I find that really nice. Talking about which, 8110 is actually 4G device. So as opposed to the 3310, which was originally 2G device, then by popular demand they bumped it to 3G device, but it never came in 4G device, or maybe it did. I don't know. I'm getting old, Anyways, the point being, it's a 4G device and it runs on Kai OS, which is the same OS the Jio phone runs on. So if this phone comes to India, which I hope it will, and if it's priced correctly, it can be a great competitor to the Jio phone. And exciting times ahead. Like I can see this being like a secondary phone, like the extreme backup phone where you just keep it for calls and hotspot maybe. That'd be cool. Okay, then Nokia announced the Nokia One Android Go smartphone. So Android Go is the Android Go edition is the edition of Android Oreo designed for specific low-end devices, so as to say, which have less than 1 GB of RAM. So that's interesting. In my opinion, that's kind of counterintuitive because good phones, like how MKBHD says, good phones are getting cheap and cheap phones are getting good. So it's like hardware is getting cheap so that at X amount of price you're getting better hardware. But on the other hand, Android Go is, targeting at phones which are even inferior as compared to the what's available right now. So until unless those Android Go devices are priced really cheap, it seems counterintuitive to me right now. Okay, that being said, Nokia then unveiled Nokia 6, the 2018 version, which is good. It looks good with the bluish color and the gold copper accent rings. I like that color scheme. Then they launched the Nokia 7 Plus. Now that phone is really intriguing, but it's like a Pixel XL, a Pixel 2 XL, and it also has a Panda colorway which looks similar. So it's kind of like a Pixel 2 XL, but at half the price. So Nokia announced that they will be going completely to Android One initiative. So their OS was already pretty stock and neat. There was no bloatware and all. So now they've even partnered with Google that every device after Nokia 3, which includes Nokia 6, Nokia 7 Plus, and the Nokia 8 Sirocco, which I'll talk about later, every device will come under Android One program. So it's great, like software from Google, straight from Google. So timely updates, security patches, and whatnot. You name it, you'll get it. So that's a really good thing. So like I said, Nokia 7 Plus is literally like a cheaper Pixel 2 XL. Moving on, we have the Nokia 8 Sirocco. So Sirocco is a brand which was like a sub brand category kind of thing with Nokia, which was like extreme, premium, exquisite, luxurious line. So that's coming back, and Nokia 8 is a pretty interesting phone. So it's ditching the whole metallic unibody design which Nokia has been following till now. So it's 95% vacuum sealed glass body now, pretty much similar to say HTC 11, Samsung Galaxy S8, S9, which has like glass on the front and the back, and then the metal rims on the sides. So it's like that. And the interesting part is it is like kind of a bezel-less screen, you would say. Like it has little bezel, like trimmed bezels on the top and the bottom, but the screen is actually 16:9. So if the screen size is 6 inches in 18:9 ratio, oh wow, that sounds bad. So 18:9 ratio, 6 inches will be equivalent to 5.5 inches in 16:9 ratio. So those will have same width. But Nokia 8 Sirocco has 6 inches screen, if I recall correctly, in 16:9. So the whole device footprint feels a bit large. So the device is pretty slim. It has dual cameras at the back. Zeiss back again. Although Zeiss had left kind of a sour taste in my mouth after using the Nokia 8 from the last year. So I was really hyped about the Zeiss cameras and all, but it didn't really perform. It performed really bad. So I'm crossing my fingers that this one turns out to be really good. Moving on, Huawei announced the MateBook X Pro. My god, what a laptop. Like, it's thin, the screen is really, really nice. I mean, if you know the Dell XPS line, they have like minimal bezels all around. MateBook X Pro pushes that even further. Like the bottom bezel, it's as thin as the all three surrounding bezels. So what they did was, and it was an interesting thing, they moved the camera to a key in the keyboard. So when you press that key, the webcam literally rises from the button. It comes up from the button. It's as crazy as it sounds. Go on to YouTube or something and watch some images or some pictures about it. It's amazing, but there's kind of a downside to it because you can't really adjust the angle because it's attached to the keyboard, like as opposed to having camera on the hinge of the laptop or bottom bezel of the laptop. You can at least tilt the screen. Here you have no control other than literally tilting a laptop. So there's that. Just in case you thought that product naming schemes can't get worse, wait till you listen what LG announced this MWC. They announced LG, wait for it, LG V30S Plus ThinQ, which is spelled as THINK and then Q, literally the alphabet Q. It's not even Think, it's ThinQ. So it's basically the same phone from last year, the LG V30, but the V30 Plus variant because it has more RAM, more storage, and has both wireless charging and the internal DAC. But this year, it has some more AI capabilities. So there's that. That's pretty much it about the LG V30S Plus ThinQ. Whew, that's a big name. Anyways, moving on, we got some really good things over here. Remember in-screen fingerprint scanners? Yeah, from last 2 years we've been speculating about it. Things have been brewing up that, hey, This is the breakout tech, which is going to be really awesome. And guess what? It's finally here. So back at CES, we would display X20 smartphone, which had like a small circle kind of area where you could just hold your finger and it will scan. Now they've come up with Vivo Apex, which is like the bottom half of the screen is completely the whole in-display fingerprint scanning solution. It's amazing. Like now we're going, now we are entering the Tony Stark era. Is that a far cry? I don't know. But yeah, it's really interesting, like how you can just use the fingerprint scanner on the display itself. Remember the times when we had some prank apps in Symbian S60 era? Like I had one on my Nokia X6 where it was just a faux circle or a faux square where you just put your finger and it would just vibrate. So that was like a fake fingerprint scanning app. But little did I know, in 2018 it will be a reality. Moving on to some more launches, ZTE launched Blade 9 and Blade 9 Vita, and yet another Android Go smartphone. Following that, Alcatel launched 3 new smartphones, one of them being the Android Go, not Android One smartphone. So it's really nice that multiple OEMs are supporting this Android Go initiative, and I hope that they are priced accordingly. Moving on, Sony launched 2 new Xperia smartphones, the XZ2 and the XZ2 Compact. So these smartphones are a radical departure from their previous overmilked, overworked industrial designs. It has been literally the same since 2011, and it's finally good that I've changed their ID a bit, and only time will tell like how good or how bad it turns out for them. Last but not the least, Asus, the company which has been launching their Zenfone lines of smartphone, has copied iPhone X or iPhone 10 or iPhone X. Is it X or is it 10? How do you pronounce it as? Like I have tried to pronounce it as iPhone 10, but everybody around me just pronounces it as X, so might as well just go with X. Anyways, coming to the point. So they launched Zenfone 5, Zenfone 5 Lite, and Zenfone 5Z. So 5Z is literally the same as Zenfone 5 but with Snapdragon 845. So there's that. So 5 and 5Z have the same design, just the difference in specs, while 5 Lite has different specs, like a watered down specs and different design as well. So 5 and 5Z have same notch, like top notch display, like haha, pun intended, they have a knob on the touch, but it's kind of slimmer as compared to, not slimmer, it's like having less width as compared to the notch on the iPhone 10 or iPhone X. So they literally copied it. I know it's kind of like, Steve Jobs used to say, good artists copy, great artists steal. So, I don't know, is this trying to be a good artist or great artist? Only time will tell how it fares up. So there's that for all the announcements. Oh boy, it seems that's all the time we have for this episode. If you like this episode, hit like, share, subscribe, do your thing, and if you have any questions, just tweet at me. It's @Shimon IPS, which is SHIMONIPS on Twitter. Or if you like being fancy, send me a voice message or perform a call-in on the Anchor app. So there's that. So that's it for this episode, guys. I hope you liked it, and I'll meet you on the next episode. Bye-bye.